We work in the neighborhoods of like the high area as far as for the Rogers Park and the Uptown area. We from the area, you know, we was born and raised in some of these areas that we work in. And we work closely with the families, the young kids that go to schools in the area. We work with the youth. We also just work with a lot of people that's basically, you know, in and out of jail, you know, having trouble getting, you know, their life straight online, having, you know, getting their things in order. So we basically have a lot of programs, and we run a lot of programs at One Northside to just try to, you know, give back to our community.
There's two groups, Group A and B, who's actively been killing each other for the past 30, 35 years. My predecessors, they put together a peace agreement that was so strong and so effective that these groups that actively have over 200 deaths on the north side agreed to stop killing each other. They've agreed to have safe spaces where this group will stay on this side and this group will stay on that side. And if they catch anybody on the bordering lines, if they're going to the store, if they're going to the school, if they're going to certain places, they're off limits. They haven't killed one person across those groups in the last 5 years. So sometimes they say you can't measure prevention, you can't measure that work, but those are countless lives saved, countless.
It's not easy working with a lot of these kids out here, just trying to help them get their GEDs or stay off the streets or just staying out of trouble sometimes. It could be a hassle trying to get them to, you know, come to our offices and get help. Sometimes it takes a while for them to believe in us, and, you know, it's a lot of proof we have to show them first. You know, it's a lot of proof. We try to help them get jobs, so it's like we try to stay connected with a lot of different organizations that have a lot of resources that we can basically give out to our youth as well. One Northside also have other organizations within One Northside that also have different cultures as well. Roots grounded in these communities, just being like boots on the ground as we call it, really just give us like a better way to connect with the people, learn what they need, and once they see us on a daily basis, like we are neighbors, so basically just being there in our community most of the time, it's like you'll just know, you know.
I grew up with my aunt, my cousins, and we had this kind of sibling, cousin, brother kind of relationship with all my cousins. You know, like we're all pretty tight-knit family. Went to the street, started gang banging, got heavily involved with, you know, a lot of street activity. I got shot. You know, it was pretty tough, but I embraced it. It was almost as if like I thought that was my destiny. It was really about community. It was really about having some kind of foundation, a tribe somewhere that I could call home, until like people started dying. I lost my friends. One of my good friends, we called him Harlem. I had a storefront I was managing at the time. I was about 21. He got killed in front of the store I was managing. After Harlem died, that's when I got introduced to the violence prevention program. At the time, it was called Ceasefire. When Harlem passed away, they were on the block, they were wearing like these bright orange shirts. I just thought they looked crazy. And they were telling me that, like, you know, like they're not in the street life no more. They in this violence prevention thing. It just kind of like told me to leave the block. And I did, because I had respect for them. And when I left the block, they came and shot the block up again. You know, so it was like, I was like within inches of losing my life, just like my brother Harlem.
I was born and raised on the west side of Chicago, but, you know, I came to school on the north side of Chicago. So Me moving to the Northside kind of changed my life. Eventually just ran with the wrong crowds, ended up, going to jail, being a trouble youth, just learning things the hard way. I eventually just got my life together, you know what I mean, man? The older I got, I wanted more for myself and more for my family. Really just trying to see the light and just trying to, make a better future for myself, really brought me to doing this work that I'm doing with violence prevention. I want to, get back into the neighborhood that I, helped destroy when I was at a trouble youth at a point in time. That's what really got me here.
When the neighborhood and the oldest, the people who was working in ceasefire time, when they noticed that I wasn't trying to be violent anymore and I wasn't so retaliatory, that's when they offered me a job, violence interrupter. And at the time I'm like, well, nobody sees that, so how's that the word? It's like, well, sometimes it's, like that's the work. It's like unseen. It's what nobody sees behind the scene that really makes this whole thing go around. A lot of the community we service, from like when I was in the streets, we had problems with those communities. Like we were trying to kill each other. Now when I go in this way, it's all love. They love to see me come through and give back to the community. Pampers for the kids, food, gatherings. Now we got festivals and carnival and all this stuff that we've introduced to the community that we hadn't had. My name is Darrell Dacres, Violence Prevention Program Manager for Uptown and Rogers Park Violence Prevention Team.
My name is Darrell Davis, supervisor of One Northside Violence Prevention Team. I'm the supervisor for the Rogers Park area and the Uptown area.